WIT.
Hey, how you doing? Someday, huh? Makes you glad to be alive, like there's not a trouble in the world. Of course, everybody has trouble from time to time. And feeling sad is as normal as feeling glad. It's part of life. You don't think so? Wait. Hey, Felicia! You ever feel sad?
Who doesn't?
What makes you sad?
When my mom goes to work, I miss her, and that makes me sad.
What makes you sad?
When my best friend Marissa moved away. Saying goodbye to my grandma when she goes back home.
There you have it. Sadness happens to everyone. Come on in. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing? Hey. Hi, Mark. Was it something I said?
It's not you, it's him.
He's been acting funny all day.
Funny weird, not funny ha-ha.
He won't talk to us. He won't sit with us. He didn't come out at recess.
He wouldn't even eat at lunch.
Mark wouldn't eat? That is serious.
Yeah, but...
But what?
Well, he kind of hurt my feelings. He wouldn't talk to me. Me, his best friend. So I'm kind of worried. And I am kind of mad, too.
Sound familiar? That's how feelings often come, all mixed up.
How can we figure out what's going on?
Well, for starters, why don't you take a real good look at Mark? You look too. Okay, what do you see?
Well, his head's kind of hanging down.
He's all slumped over, and his eyes are red.
Uh-huh.
He looks tired. Or maybe...
Sad. Definitely. That is one sad guy.
I think she's right.
He hasn't been acting sad. He's been acting stuck up. Or maybe angry.
Remember about feelings being all mixed up? Well, sometimes sadness goes with anger.
It can go with loneliness, too.
Or with being scared. Not that I've ever been scared.
There are as many different ways of being sad as there are people. And it's not always easy to tell how someone is feeling. But it's important to try, because feelings are clues to what's going on in a person's life.
I think we ought to talk to him.
Great idea. You do it.
You're the one who should be talking to him.
Why, me?
You said you were his best friend.
Oh, that.
What?
Hey, don't bite my head off.
What do you want?
I want to know what's going on with you.
What would you care?
You're my friend, and I know how it is when part of you wants to be left alone, and the other part really wants to talk.
Well, I do feel that way.
So...
Well, it happened yesterday afternoon. My mom met me at the bus stop, and she hardly ever does that.
Hi, sweetie.
Mom, what are you doing here?
Thought it would be nice to meet you today. Thought we could have a little chat.
A little
How's
chat?
school? Fine.
Well, you know what
Good.
that means. Trouble. Sure enough.
Mark, have you noticed that your dad and I haven't been getting along too well lately?
It's been pretty hard to miss, Mom. You've been fighting a lot.
Sweetie, I know, and I'm sorry. I know it's been tough. Your dad and I have tried to work things out, but it just...
No!
Mark!
I'm not stupid, Mom. You're getting a divorce, aren't you?
Mark! Wait!
Dad!
Mark? What?
Dad! Don't do it. Please. Don't do it.
You told him?
Yeah.
Mark, this is very sad for all of us. And neither one of us wanted this to happen. But your mother and I just aren't happy living together anymore.
You mean you don't love each other anymore?
No, Mark, we don't.
But, sweetie, you have to understand something. That doesn't mean that your dad and I will ever, ever stop loving you.
Never.
Is it because of something I did? Because you're mad at me?
What?
No, it wasn't because of anything you did. You're a wonderful son.
You're the best, sweetie. And we'll always love you, and we'll always want to be with you.
But not each other?
Mark, I'm getting a place of my own. Very near here, I promise.
You'll be with both of us.
And you'll see, life will go on in very much the same way.
Life will never be the same. Not ever.
You're right, Mark. Life isn't going to be the same.
No kidding. He's not even gonna be able to live with both of his parents anymore.
And his folks probably haven't paid as much attention to him because of what they're going through.
That's a lot of change.
It sure is. And when things change in such a big way, it's scary. It can make you feel very sad.
I'm really sorry, Mark. I'm sorry I acted so weird all day.
Hey, if you were acting real happy, that would be weird. But when you find out that your parents are getting a divorce, being sad is normal. Of course, that doesn't mean it feels good. What happens when you're sad? How does it feel?
It makes me feel like I could burst into tears any second.
Yeah, or like I have a big, humongous lump in my throat.
And I want to be with people who care about me.
That's funny. When I'm sad, I feel like I want to shove people away.
Sound familiar?
Kind of. But the way I really feel is sick to my stomach. Like I'm gonna throw up.
Now, hang on a sec. Mark has something there. When a feeling like sadness is really strong or lasts a long time, it can make your body sick.
It can?
Unless you do something to help yourself feel better. Like Todd and his grandfather did when they were getting ready for the auction.
Who's Todd?
What auction?
Wow,
Oh,
neat.
cool.
Want to hear it?
Sure.
The Auction by Jan Andrews. Todd jumped out of his mother's car and slammed the door. The things for the auction were ready on the front lawn. The combine loomed over everything. He pulled himself up on it and sat high above everything. Just then, his grandfather stepped out the front door. "Hi, Todd. Do you want something cold to drink?" he said. "Later," Todd muttered. He climbed down and went along the beaten track toward the barnyard. For a moment, he just stood there, straining to hear the calves in the barn, the pigs, the chickens. Then he ran through the dust, beyond the grain bins, along the trail over the summer fallow, past where the oats swayed, over the broad, flat prairie to the pasture. He was looking for the cows that had been brought here every day in all the summers he could remember. There was only wind, sunshine, and dryness. He heard his grandfather behind him. "You sold all the animals," Todd burst out. "I had to." There was something in his grandfather's voice. He saw that Gramps was crying. He began to cry, too. They sat and told stories until the sun was almost down. "We should go in," Gramps said. Todd took his grandfather's hand and held it tight until they reached the house. It was long past time for supper. There was nothing to cook and no chairs, so they sat on the floor and ate bread and cheese and pickles. The pickles were Gran's. She'd made them before she died last fall. They had a special garden taste to them. Todd crunched one slowly and remembered his grandmother bending over the cucumbers, picking. There was always a scarecrow in Gran's garden, he blurted suddenly, and each year it was different. Gran would have made something crazy for the auction. "Don't you think?" Todd said. "We've got some old clothes in the bedroom and lots of straw out in the yard." Todd's grandfather dragged bags of clothes outside and they started to work. When the scarecrow was finished, they lifted it onto the combine. "Let's put someone else by the sewing machine," Todd suggested, "and a lady by the baler, and some kids, and maybe some sort of monster," Todd giggled. The moon rose higher. Stars shone in the moonlight. Todd and his grandfather worked until they had used up all the clothes, and there were scarecrows everywhere. They looked at each other. "When you're in town," Todd said, and live near us, I'll like it. He yawned as they walked up the porch steps and into the house. They pulled a mattress into a patch of moonlight by the window. Will people come early for the sale in the morning, Todd asked. They always do, Gramps answered. Todd's eyes were closing. He rolled over and went to sleep. In this story, Todd and his grandfather were very sad about the family farm being sold, but they found ways to help themselves feel better. Can you remember any?
They got busy and made those scarecrows.
Yeah. Getting busy is a great way to feel better. And there are lots of other things you can do, too. How about you guys? What makes you feel better when you're sad?
Well, I like to get things off my mind by listening to music or something.
Music's good. How about you, Kezia?
Let's see. I like to play basketball like a madman.
Absolutely. Exercise boosts your spirits and uses your muscles. What else?
Talking.
Good one. What made you think of it?
Well, the boy and his grandfather seemed to feel better when they talked in the book. And, well, I felt a little better myself, just talking to all of you.
Sharing your feelings really can help. Do you have someone special you can talk to?
My mom and dad.
I like to talk to my sister.
It really helped me when I talked to Jamal. He's my best friend, and when he listened to me, I didn't feel so blue.
Feeling sad is rough.
The worst thing in the world.
Maybe it's that I don't understand. When I think it through, I find I never felt so small. Everybody says it's not so bad, and everything must change in time, but that won't help at all. When you're sad, there's a change inside. When you're sad, you can't run and hide. When you're sad, you can't escape your mind. I don't even know if I can speak, but if you ask, I'll try. And it's so nice to know you care, even though it's all been said before. Tell me one more time, it's all right, and I'll be there. When you're sad, there'll be you and I. When you're sad, friends will get you by. When you're sad, you know I'm on your side. There's no ending to what friends can do when you're sad. When you're sad. When you're sad.
So how are you feeling now, Mark?
Better, but not exactly happy.
I know just what you mean. Hey, look. Now you see it. Now you don't.
Magic.
Uh-huh. Now, magic works great sometimes, but not so great on feelings. You can't magically make good feelings appear or bad feelings disappear. But time really helps.
I can't ever imagine feeling good about my parents getting a divorce.
You'll never completely forget about something that made you really sad, like your parents' divorce. But in time, when you think about what happens, you'll still feel a little bit of sadness, but you'll be able to handle it more easily.
So, it'll get better.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you help it along.
By listening to music, or getting some exercise, or just talking with my friends.
It all helps.
Well, in that case, want to shoot some hoops?